What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream on the channel. The crypto market is relatively flat right now. We're not seeing any major moves, but the stock market is actually showing some weakness. We're seeing red across the board with the stock market, and that makes me think that maybe Bitcoin has actually front ran a lot of the move that the stock market is making to the downside right now. If we go ahead and we look at Bitcoin today, it is down by about 1.6%, Ethereum down by 0.5%. But if we go ahead and look at the stock market, you can see the Mag 7 is getting absolutely decimated right now. Meta down 2%, Tesla down over 2%, Apple down 4.8%, Nvidia down 1%. So overall, Bitcoin and crypto actually isn't doing too bad when you consider what is going on elsewhere. The metals as well are seeing a relatively large scale pullback. Silver down about 9.5%, gold down over 2%, which is a significant move down on gold. We all know how, small the moves tend to be on gold to the downside. So over 2% is quite a big move to the downside when you think about it. So, thinking about it, Bitcoin's not doing too bad in comparison to everything else. And you've got to ask yourself, why is that the case? I believe it's the case because Bitcoin already could sense that there were weaknesses within the stock market. Bitcoin was already preparing for a stock market move down. And we know that Bitcoin is the most liquid asset out there. It trades 24/7 and it's very easy to sell it. So Bitcoin can sniff things out of the stock market and actually move in advance. What we've seen is Bitcoin usually is the first mover. It's the first one to sell off and it's the first one to bounce. And I do find it quite interesting that the stocks are moving down quite forcefully, yet crypto isn't necessarily completely capitulating right now. You would think it would be a real bad day today for crypto, but it's not. It's not been too bad at all, in fact. If you look at the top 100, there's multiple coins in the green. Say's up about 5% today. Virtual's up about 5% today. Asta's been pumping. Man, Asta's done great since I gave that buy alert out to the VIP members at 49 cents. Asta's sat at 71 cents right now. This thing's been killing it. If we look at another altcoin which I hold, XPL, that is also having a nice move to the upside today. So, across the board, it's not been too bad for crypto, despite the stocks looking dreadful. And I just gave the reasons as to why I believe that to be the case. We already priced in a lot of this move down on stocks, in my opinion. So smash up the likes on the stream. I do want to say I accidentally set the stream time as a lot earlier than what I planned to start. So if you guys were waiting for like 15 minutes, I do apologize. I set the stream time too early. I meant to set it 10 minutes ago. I actually set it for like 30 minutes ago. So I do apologize about that. But hopefully you guys can smash the likes. Get your questions in as well. I'm happy to answer as many questions as I can in this live stream. We've got a lot to talk about. So we did get some data come in today regarding the jobs market. And the data we got yesterday regarding the jobs market was a lot better than the data we got today. So we got yesterday, obviously, green across the board. And then today came in a little bit worse than expected. The actual unemployment claims was 227,000. The forecast was 222,000. But it is still decreasing, okay? The labor market is getting better. And it's doing better than what many people had expected. The unemployment claims is in a downtrend now in the last, couple of reports. So it's not spiraling out of control, the unemployment rate as of right now, which is a good thing. It is a good thing. But at the same time, that means that rate cuts aren't looking probable anytime soon. So we've got to hope in a way. Screen came back for some reason. Don't know what's going on, man, with the blue screen. But we've got to hope that when Warsh gets in, that he really start cutting rates, because I do worry that they're going to leave it too long, as they typically do. And then, all hell is going to break loose at some point because they left rates so high for so long. But yeah, guys, we're going to get into your questions. S&P 500 having a pretty red day here. And it was just a matter of time, because the S&P 500 was holding on for dear life. I mean, I don't know how it was holding on so strongly. There were many warning signs left, right, and center that it was probably going to start correcting. And now we're only just starting to see that potential correction on the S&P 500. So, just because the S&P is going down doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin's going to absolutely tank. Bitcoin already priced in this, in my opinion, like I just said earlier. Anyway, these are my top altcoins to have in a portfolio. These are the altcoins which I am personally buying very heavily right now. I'm about 70% in the market and about 30% in stables right now. I'm positioning myself so that either way, I can be effective. If the market does end up going lower, I can simply buy more of these altcoins. But if the market has bottomed and we do start sending it in the coming weeks and months, I'm already positioned well into the market so that I can reap the rewards. Now, I'll just give you my base case at the moment. My base case is that Bitcoin either did put in a low there at 59K, or it's going to be very close to that price if we go lower. There is a possibility of us going down to potentially create a bullish divergence with the RSI on the daily. So that is a possibility that we do end up putting in a lower low, a slight lower low, just to get that bullish divergence, and then we start bouncing back up. But I'm not expecting a major V-shaped recovery anytime soon. The reason I'm not expecting a V-shaped recovery is because of the nature of this move down. This kind of move down has not just been one move down and then back up. This move down has been one big move down, an attempt to get back up, and then another big move down. It's very different to the V-shaped recovery that we had during 2025 with the tariff Armageddon. Very, very different indeed, because this was just simply one move down, one move back up. This time we had the chance for a V-shaped recovery. We had the chance to get back up, but we did indeed fail when we were in that ascending wedge. And I told you guys that I did expect that to break to the downside at some point. It was only a matter of time, and that breakdown came, and we found a low down there around 58 or 59K, whatever it was. So, I'm still of the belief that the 200-week moving average is major support, and I don't see us going significantly below that personally. It's not impossible. I was saying on a call to a bundle member earlier today that it's possible we go down to 39K or 40K, which is where the 786 fib is, and that's usually where Bitcoin bottoms. But for that to happen, in my opinion, we need real bad things to happen. We need a major crypto exchange to go under, or we would need a major stable coin to collapse, or we would just need an outright stock market collapse, or a recession or something like that, or a World War III event. We're not going to go down to 30 or 40K, in my opinion, just organically. The only way we go down there for me is if there is a final capitulation event or some sort of major black swan, and which is possible, right? That's always possible. We had FTX and a recession in 2022, which led to us going below the 200-week moving average. But typically, Bitcoin does respect that 200-week moving average, and we do usually get very nice bounces after we've consolidated a little bit around it. It's not usually an instant bounce. We go to the 200-week, we hover around it for some time, and then finally we get the move up after the bulls eventually win. And I am expecting a battle between the bulls and the bears for some time. I'm not expecting a move up anytime soon, which gives you time to accumulate. That is a good thing. That gives us time to stack our bags and, to have a real good prepared portfolio for whenever the next bull market happens. And I'm doing exactly that with my VIP members. I'm helping them to prepare for the next bull run. I'm giving out buy alerts whenever I buy into the market. And I'm actually happy to start reviewing people's portfolios again within the Discord group. So definitely join the group if you are interested. Use the code BEARMARKET at checkout, and you're going to join the most active Discord community where there's voice chats every single day, and where you can actually track my personal buys and sells within the crypto market. And the good thing is I'm no longer in stables, so I am, actually in the market again, meaning I'm buying back in. There was actually a few months where people in the group were not getting any buy alerts. I wasn't dropping buy alerts because I was all in stables. Now I'm actually deploying back into the market, so you're getting the buy alerts again, which is a very good perk to have. So let's go through some of the questions in the chat. Once again, these are my top altcoins. And these are the targets for the next bull run. Now, when I say the next bull run, I'm not putting a time on that. That could be 2027. That could be 2028. But essentially, when Bitcoin starts firing back up again and whenever we make the next top, those are the targets for me personally. Now, a target is not necessarily a prediction. I want to be very clear about that. A target is what I'm hoping for or what I'm aiming for, right? It's not a prediction. I want to be very clear about that. It's a target. Coin Operated says the VIP is lit. I do appreciate that. Also, guys, there is a new promo starting very soon on Blowfin. If you are under my link, you could potentially get multiple thousands in rewards just for trading on the exchange. You don't have to do anything crazy. Just need to use USDT in some trades, and you could potentially get multiple thousands in rewards using the link down below. Make sure you do actually use my link. Archie, does the VIP bundle give me access to a phone call with you? I see that option in there. Yes, it does indeed. You can get on a call with myself and talk about the market. You actually get 2 calls included, and that is a really good perk to have within the Crypto Archie big bundle. You can actually get on a call with me. I can prep it before the call as well. All you need to do is send me your portfolio, send me any questions, and we'll make sure it's a very productive call. So yeah, you do get a call with me as part of the big bundle, and you get one-to-one messaging for life, which is a very good perk to say the least. And I'm going to be releasing new courses this year into the bundle, which you'll get included for free. You won't have to pay any additional cost as long as you're in the bundle. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chats. Ricky says, buy, buy, buy. I do agree. It is the time to buy the fear. I'm liking the dips. Could we go and fill that wick down there, at 60K? Absolutely, we could. In fact, that's going to be the poll for today. I'm going to ask you guys, do you believe we will revisit 60K again? Or do you... Actually, instead, I'll just say, do you believe the bottom is in? I think that's a lot easier to say. Poll. Let's ask you guys, is the bottom in? Question mark. I want your honest answer. Do you truthfully believe the bottom is in for Bitcoin? Yes or no? Yes or no? There's a good part of me which makes me think it's either in or very close to being in. It's a bottoming range. For me, this kind of golden pocket area is a big bottoming range for Bitcoin. It was also the bottoming range in 2024 when we wicked down to 49K during the Japanese carry trade, I think that was. Remember, we had the long sideways lull for Bitcoin, and we actually ended up wicking out of the range to the downside, but it was just simply a liquidity grab, and we held on to the 50-week moving average. So you can get these kind of wicks down, guys. It's not impossible that we could end up wicking out of the range, but I do believe that like anywhere kind of between 50 and 60K is most likely going to be the bottom, and then we're going to see quite a nice recovery, potentially even up to the 50-week moving average on Bitcoin. So I am expecting a nice bounce whenever this selling pressure is over. It could be over down here, right? That could be the floor. Or maybe we come down a little bit lower, get that bullish divergence, and then we get the bounce. But the reality is Bitcoin's incredibly oversold. Altcoins are incredibly oversold. And this is a range to go shopping, in my personal opinion. You do you. If you believe we're going to 10K, then don't buy. But if you believe these are cheap prices for altcoins, then I probably assume that you're buying as well. Let me just take a quick look at the poll, see what you guys are saying. So it's almost 50-50. 50% almost believe the bottom is in, 50% almost believe the bottom is not in. 43% say yes, 57% say no. Very interesting indeed. That's one of the most split polls I've ever done. Usually it's quite decisive one way or the other, but this one in particular is very up in the air. But yeah, let's try and aim for 300 likes on this live stream. It really does help out the channel. It also motivates me and encourages me to spend more time making the content good, planning it, preparing it, and keeping the consistency of these daily live streams, because it is past midnight in Dubai, right? So there is some discipline required. And if we're not getting any likes, then maybe I'll just take the day off. Who knows, right? Who knows? But yeah, plasma pumping today. Asta's been doing very good since we bought in. And yeah, I'm just quite optimistic, to be honest. I really am quite optimistic for the coming weeks. Solana came down quite low here, guys. $77 for Solana. This is a real nice price on Solana. A lot of FUD right now on Sol. And I noticed that Sol is usually one of those coins that does amazing in a bull run, but does disastrously in a bear market. So it is one of those alts that you definitely want to get when you think it's bottoming out, because Solana's here to stay. Look, it's not going anywhere. What are the current gains on Solana just to all-time highs? So all-time high, 294. Current price, 77. 294 divided by 77. That is going to be a 3.8x to all-time highs just from here on Sol. Wow. That's actually incredible if you think about it. Almost a 4x on your money just to go to Solana's all-time high. Let's say someone had $1 million and they just wanted to turn that million into $4 million. Just park it into Solana. Like, it's a guaranteed 4x pretty much from here. Could it go lower? Yes. But like, you got to have the long-term picture, guys. It's not all about timing the exact bottom. You just got to be buying within a bottoming range. And there was no way that this was a bottoming range here. There's no way that was. And I was telling you guys, we were going to lose that range. This here could indeed be a potential bottoming range, because that's where we bottomed in 2024. And it's also around where all the topping volume was in 2021 as well. So, there's a major amount of volume, historic volume in this range here, guys. A major level of volume. The 2021 highs and all of 2024 pretty much was all in this big pocket of volume. Two massive chunks of volume pockets there. XPL is pumping, absolutely. Yeah, sorry about the delay with the stream, Ricky. Apologize. Hit the likes, absolutely. Hi, Archie. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you. Been very busy, man. Very, very busy lately. A lot of bundle members have been calling me because obviously we've been in stables for months and now they're deploying back into the market. They're asking me about which altcoins should I hold? What should my buy-in strategy be? So I've been very, very busy with that, but I'm doing great. What are my thoughts on Monad? I think Monad is a solid project. They raised a ton of money, but they launched right at the worst timing, right? And I felt like Monad launching was always going to be near to the top because it was always this really hyped up launch that was quite lackluster when you think about it, right? But all in all, when you look at this chart, it doesn't look that disastrous. Like most of the time when a new layer one launches, it's a massive, huge jump from launch. Something like XPL would be a great example, or ICP or something like that. These VC-backed layer ones usually absolutely crash during their launch. But Monad, it didn't dump too hard. So I guess there's some degree of organic price action. It's only down 60% from its all-time high, which in comparison to other altcoins around the same market cap, 200 million, that's actually really, really good. Let me take a little deeper look at the chart for Monad, because I don't hold any Monad, but I would consider it. Maybe I'll add it to my watch list, right? Maybe. So this chart looks kind of weird. Don't know what's going on with this. Monad. Okay. So it's just kind of chopping around. There's definitely some major support down here. Definitely major support down there. So anywhere around kind of 16, 17 cents seems to be a good range to buy Monad. But it's so new, it's kind of hard to go off, you know, because it hasn't got loads of historical data on the chart. As a layer 1, is Monad worth looking at? It got dumped on hard on initial launch. And Burn, CEO, Arthur Hayes, Taught Major, Smack. Look, it looks decent. I just think there's better layer 1s, personally. I think Sui's better. Even Plasma, I think, maybe might produce more gains. But Monad does look good. It is appealing. So I'm definitely going to consider it. Lil Floss says, hi, Archie. Now you are bullish on Say and Casper, but what do you think about the meme coins? Buy those coins like Millie and Caspi. So now definitely isn't the time to be aping heavy into meme coins. But one thing I would say is if the bottom is in, some of these meme coins are going to do crazy things. And one thing that I found very interesting is usually after a major crash, you do get big rallies on meme coins. And you typically find a brand new breakout meme coin. So I don't know if you guys remember when Pepe came out. The crypto market wasn't in the best state at the time. But then Pepe came out. It made loads of hype around the crypto market. And it almost was a rising tide that lifted all the other ships up with it, right? So there is a chance that there is some breakout meme coin that comes about at some point soon. It's usually in the ashes where a new meme appears. But is it going to be one of these memes on Say or Casper? I don't think so personally. But if you are very bullish on those two chains and you want a very degen hyper version of those projects, then maybe Millie or Caspi would be good. But I don't hold either of them right now. I just think maybe now isn't the best time for that. Now is the time to build the base of the portfolio, get your foundations right, you know, get the high quality coins. And then maybe once you've finished buying those, then we can think about some high risk, high reward plays. But at the moment, the ultimate priority for everyone should be to build a high quality portfolio that is going to stand the test of time, because there is a chance that we could be chopping for months. And if that is the case, some of these very niche meme coins could just continue bleeding out. Whereas high quality projects, they're not going to go to zero, right? Yeah, Coinbase does seem cheap. Indeed, it does. Another stock which is very cheap at the moment is Robinhood. I don't know if you guys saw the crash on Robinhood. So there is major support on Coinbase around these levels. You can see that there. But the problem with this is that this level used to be a golden pocket, okay? Used to be a golden pocket. Now it's not a golden pocket. Now Coinbase is actually in no man's land with major support probably sitting around $118, $118 to $115 is the next major support zone. You've got a few hit points there, and it's the 786 fib. So you've got this high, you've got this high, you've got that low, all kind of coming into play around that 786 fib. So yeah, if Coinbase fails to hold the line here on this support region, then you know, it's probably heading for the next major support around, you know, 115 to 120. Another stock to have on your radar, guys, that kind of does also tie into crypto is indeed Robinhood stock. This is the ultimate retail investing play or retail trading play. So if you're bullish in general on the democratization of the markets and more people getting into crypto and stocks and stuff like that, Robinhood would be a great project or company rather to have in your stock market portfolio. And it is tanking right now. Major support on Robinhood is around $60 to $65 around that region. So we're getting there for sure. A lot of these stocks, guys, are absolutely bleeding out right now. I was looking at Netflix. That's another one that's down in the red a lot today. So it's been a pretty brutal day for the stock market, actually. But then when you look at crypto, it's been a very, lackluster day. There's not really been anything going on. So, I mean, that's your crypto bubbles, actually. It's pretty green across the board. Looking at this, I would assume, 70% of the projects are actually in the green today. It's only Bitcoin, Uniswap, Solana, a few others that are down. The vast majority are actually in the green. Whereas metals and stocks are getting destroyed. They're getting hammered today. So again, I'm reiterating the point I made at the very beginning of the live stream, which is I believe a lot of the pain for crypto is already behind us, and we priced in a lot of this move down with the stock market already. Dave says, good to see you, man. Good to see you, Dave. Coinbase worst case buy zone is $70 to $100. I don't know if it'll go that low, but it's possible. Anything can happen in a crypto bear market, right? But most likely, I think the support will probably be around this level I just laid out. If we get good inflation data tomorrow, I think we could start a pump. Yeah, for sure. Because inflation's certainly cooling. I know people don't look at trueflation, but if you do look at trueflation, inflation's cooling down a lot. The problem is the Fed isn't just going to cut because inflation is low. They're not going to do that. We wish they would do that. That's how we think. But just because inflation is low doesn't mean they're going to cut. They only cut if they need to. So that essentially means they'll only cut if there's genuine weakness within the economy. And right now, there's not a great deal of economic weakness. But one thing I would say is the stock market is starting to signify to me that there's potentially weakness down the line if the Fed don't get their act together and begin cutting. Glad to catch the live stream today. Like, share, and subscribe. 100%. There is a rule in the stock market: buy quality at or below the 200-week SMA. The same rule applies in crypto. Buy crypto at or below the 200-week SMA on Bitcoin. Now, with that said, I have been buying in the low 60s, I'll be honest, right? That is slightly above it, but we can't nickel and dime it too much. It gets to a point where a hair away from the 200-week moving average. I think it's reasonable to be buying in that zone. Unless you need instant gains, which isn't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for high-quality altcoins that I can stack and add to more of a long-term, multi-year portfolio. And that's exactly what I believe I've created here, especially with the 2 VIP gems as well. I think those two could do really, really well. Do I think Sui has bad tokenomics? Yeah, maybe it does, but so does Solana, right? And Solana's done really good things, and so does XRP. The thing with bad tokenomics is the demand just has to outweigh the supply. That's all it comes down to. So yeah, coin operated. The bundle does come with a one-to-one call. It actually comes with 2 of them. And I'm going to be releasing a course actually quite soon, which the bundle will get access to for free as part of the bundle with the same price. The bundle's price isn't going to go up. It's going to stay the same price for now anyway. And you're getting a whole new course added to it. And there's already course content within the bundle, like probably 50 to 70 different videos already within the bundle on courses and kind of webinars and stuff like that, exclusive for the bundle members. Yeah, DCA a little into Sol. I think that's wise. I think that's prudent for sure. Biz Knowledge added Moonwell, Arrow, and Kita to the portfolio. Hey, Archie, is Asta a good buy now, or should we wait for a price correction to buy in at it cheaper? So I haven't bought any Asta. Why did I was about to type cheaper. Do you guys ever do that? You're speaking and then you type what you're saying. Anyway, Asta, for me, I wouldn't be buying it right now just because it's already kind of had its breakout of this wedge that we've been looking at. If I was gonna buy it, I would look to get in potentially if it has a retrace to flip the previous resistance into support. If it does that, it comes back down and then bounces, then that would maybe be my potential entry. But I wouldn't be in a rush to buy Asta right now if you missed it. Now, I did buy it down here. Okay. So we're seeing real good gains in the VIP on Asta. Pumped already almost 60% just in a few days of buying it. And this is a high cap. Okay, we're talking a blue chip coin here, not a crap coin. So yeah, we're already making some nice gains actually from our entries over in the VIP. You're giving your money away now. You're giving your money away if you're buying now, but it's your money. I disagree completely and utterly. Completely disagree. Prices are cheap, but will go lower. Where's the guarantee they'll go lower? Exactly. They could go lower. I'm not denying that, but there's no guarantee that they'll go lower. That's the type of mindset that gets people wrecked. This kind of, they will do this. They must do this. That's not how it works. You know, I know so many people who in 2022 were sat there while Bitcoin was at 15K, convinced that it was going to 10K and that they shouldn't buy at 15. It gets to a point where you just got to sit there and realize that prices are cheap, therefore it justifies buying. Could they go lower? Yes, but prices are very cheap, therefore you've got to begin the DCA process. You've got to at least get your feet wet, okay? I'm not saying go full into the deep end, but at least get your feet wet is what I'm saying. And obviously you do you. If you believe we're going to $10,000, $20,000, whatever, then don't buy anything. Just wait for that. But I personally believe we're approaching a bottom or we've even bottomed out already. Yeah, the monad tokenomics aren't the best. The TVL is insane. It's through the roof. If you could only pick one out of Sui or Sol, well, if I could only pick one, probably Solana, just because the prices right now are amazing to buy a blue chip like that. But if you want more gains, go for Sui. If you want more safety, then go for Solana. Can we go significantly above your price target for your altcoins? It's absolutely possible we could, because I'm generally relatively conservative with my price targets. So it's very possible that some of these could over exceed the given price targets that I've put. Look, if I had to vote, I would vote yes on this poll. The reason I would vote yes is because I believe we're either at a bottom or very close. So if you think the bottom's like 1 or 2% lower than where we've gone to, then I would vote yes, just because it's basically the same thing. I mean, 56K, 58K, it's just, you know, you're arguing over nothing. It's basically the same thing. So I would probably vote yes. If I was being honest, I would probably vote yes that the bottom was at 58K, or it'll maybe be at like 55 or 56K. Like, it's very close to where we went to, in my opinion. Of course, I could be wrong. I was right with my kind of thesis of 126K being the top when I came out on the day and said that I believe most likely that is the top. And then when we lost the Gaussian channel, I said it's absolutely the top. People still didn't believe me at that point. So maybe I'll be wrong this time. Who knows? You're never right all the time. What do I think about Seedify Fund? Wow, that coin I haven't heard in a while. Well, that also relies on the gaming market, right? 4 million market cap. Wow, this thing's got obliterated. Down 99.7% since 2021. Are they still doing like big launches anymore? Like, I can't even remember the last hyped up gaming coin. Was it Gunzilla maybe? Like, there was a time when there was new gaming coins launching all the time. there was high quality gaming coins launching like every single week pretty much. I mean, I remember going on to seedify.fund and you would see all these different gaming coins that were super hyped up. Now it's what? Ku Like, what the hell is that nonsense? Ku Just Vibe? $10,000 FDV? Like, what the hell is all of this crap, man? I remember going on to Seedify and actually seeing decent projects. Now it's a load of crap. Absolute garbage. Irrelevant, tiny coins, probably ran by people in their basements. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't touch it until we actually start to see some half-decent projects begin to launch on it. Sol's price is entirely based on whether or not memes come back. Yes and no. I mean, Solana went to, what, 80 billion last bull run without meme coins really being on Solana. Last bull market, meme coins were predominantly on BNB and Ethereum. So, yeah, I'm not... I mean, what did it go to? Yeah. 70 billion, 80 billion, something like that, 75 billion. So Solana's market cap was like almost double what it is now in 2021 without a large meme coin ecosystem. So I agree that memes definitely drove up the price of Solana, and that you could even argue Solana is largely reliant on meme coins, but I wouldn't say it's entirely reliant on meme coins. It also has other things going on. At the end of the day, it is the fastest mainstream chain. And I think there are going to be other use cases to Solana other than just meme coins. I think the fact it works so well with meme coins proves that it's a solid chain. The fact Ethereum struggles to even handle meme coins, to me, says that maybe it's not the best tech out there, right? Maybe Solana is just better technology. The YouTube expert says Bitcoin in the 30s to 40s is where he'll buy. The orange man will make this a great bear market. He loves giving us deals. Interesting take. Yeah, silver's down 12% today. This has been a brutal day for silver. Maybe that's the reason crypto isn't crashing too much, is because gold and silver are correcting so heavily. And usually when gold and silver correct, Bitcoin tends to actually do quite well. So maybe that is the reason why Bitcoin isn't dumping so hard today, while stocks and metals are. Could be to do with the gold situation. What do I think about Heroes of Mavia? I think it could definitely make a comeback if gaming has a hot month or two. Maybe when GTA comes out, it'll run. At the end of the day, and I was speaking to a bundle member earlier today, and he was making this point, there's only really like 2 or 3 half-decent gaming coins. You've got Mavia, you've got Guns, and then maybe you've got like Beam or Immutable X. Like, there's literally a handful of quality gaming coins of the actual games themselves or the projects. So I think if gaming does have a rally, then the likes of Mavia and Guns should perform quite well, but they're just too risky to jump in right now, in my opinion, for me personally. Every YouTuber is saying 39 to 40K, so that means it's the bottom. So that means it's the bottom because all of them said go all in at 120K. Oh, so you're saying because all the YouTubers are calling for 40K, that makes you think that the bottom is in? Very reasonable, because when the bottom is actually in, very few people believe it. I would go as far to say that less people maybe even believe the bottom being in than what they do believing the top is in. More people call the top than what call the bottom, because it's so hard to catch a falling knife, right? So when the actual bottom is in, there'll be like no one calling it. And that's almost why I believe like what we just had could be a bottom, because there was very few people out there actually calling that as a low. Very few. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is saying 39 to 40K. Like you're saying, Biz. I completely agree with you. The YouTube expert says, if the YouTubers said breathing is good, would you stop breathing? Sometimes they can be right. Yeah, sometimes they can be right. But most of the time, the YouTubers are completely and utterly wrong. Completely and utterly wrong most of the time. When they say that we're going higher, you should probably sell. And when they say that we're going lower, you should probably buy. Most of the time with YouTubers. Remember, Archie, when GTA 6 comes out, Bitcoin will hit 1 million. Man, I remember that guy. I can't remember his name, but there was a guy adamant that when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to skyrocket Bitcoin. And I was like, you do realize Bitcoin's market cap is way bigger than the company that owns GTA 6. Bitcoin's market cap is 1.3 billion. Like, what's Rockstar Games' market cap? Let me ask Grok. Like, Bitcoin's market cap is huge. How is Bitcoin going to be affected by GTA 6? This is crazy, man. The market cap of Take-Two Interactive, which I think, do they own Rockstar Games? It's 37 billion. So the market cap of Rockstar Games' parent company is like smaller than Solana, and people think it's going to absolutely move the needle on Bitcoin. What's my take on SPX? Well, Murad's still holding it, and he's the main reason people bought SPX. It's still a 250 million market cap, so it hasn't dumped that bad. I mean, I know it's down 88% from its all-time high, but for a meme coin in a bear market, that's actually not that disastrous. Usually meme coins dump 99% or more. So now you speak about AVAX. It's actually very interesting because AVAX is one of those coins which has been in a downtrend for a very, very long period of time. Okay. And what I find interesting about AVAX is that it is respecting this trend line, both to the support side and the resistance side. It's in this kind of wedge pattern. You can see all the hits on the support. I can even stretch it maybe to here. Got all the support hits, numerous hit points. And we actually just came down to that during the recent crash. And then you've got all the resistance hits. So at least it's following a pattern. You know, when an altcoin's following a pattern, that shows that it is actively being traded, and like it's got some legitimacy when it's actually following a pattern, when it's not just mishmash everywhere, right? This is actually following a pattern, and it has just come down lower than its 2022 bear market lows, guys. So AVAX could be a buy. You know, there's a price on everything. Like, at some point, AVAX becomes an attractive investment. Now, I don't know if that's right here or if it's a little bit lower, but honestly, it might be right here, judging based off this multi-year trend line that it's been in for over 4 years. But there is a point where something becomes a buy. I've never been a major fan of Ethereum, but at 1.3K, it was a buy. I've never been a major fan of XRP, but there is going to be a point quite soon probably where it does approach a buy. That's the point I'm trying to make. You don't have to be a huge fan of a coin to buy it. You want to buy the coin based off it being a very good buy. That's what you want to buy a coin based off. Not necessarily always because you like it. Sometimes I hold coins that I don't like at all. It's not about me liking them. It's about the fact that I think the prospects for price appreciation are good. That's why you'd buy a coin. AVAX and Link, similar price, similar performance in the last bull run. Yeah, both of them lackluster. Both of them didn't make a new high. But if we are going to have a parabolic altcoin rally, let's say next year, these types of coins could definitely make a comeback. And maybe they will at some point surpass their 2021 highs. Because I don't think they're outright dead. AVAX and Link are not dead projects. Luna's dead. I would even argue Cardano and Polkadot are like borderline dead if you look at the price action. Whereas AVAX and Link, they're not in the dead category. They're just in the very lackluster category in terms of performance. Do I believe Bitcoin dominance will continue to fall in the short to mid-term? I do believe it will continue to fall. Yes, I do. Because that's kind of what happened towards the latter end of the 2022 bear market, right? Bitcoin dominance actually put in its low during the very end of the 2022 bear market. It actually formed its low in September 2022, which is very interesting indeed. Because altcoins, they get wrecked in the first part of the bear market for Bitcoin. Altcoins dump a lot quicker than Bitcoin. It takes Bitcoin a lot longer during a bear market year to find its bottom, whereas alts, the velocity of the dump is instant and down. So quite often, they find their bottom more premature to Bitcoin, and then they actually find some strength in the second half of the midterm year. We saw that with Ethereum bottoming out in June of 2022. We also saw that with BNB bottoming out in June of 2022. Both of those, the two biggest altcoins, Ethereum and BNB, both bottomed out multiple months before Bitcoin ended up bottoming out. So it's possible that something similar could happen this time, and we do see a move down on BTC dominance. Anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for today's stream. Definitely check out Blowfin using the link down below to potentially get up to $5,000 in returns just off using my link and depositing some USDT. Also, check out the VIP group if you want to see my real-time moves within the market and if you want some help and feedback from myself on your portfolio. And join the big bundle if you want lifetime VIP, mentorship, perks, and you want to get on a one-to-one call with myself and discuss your portfolio. You also get full access to my courses I've done and the courses that I'm going to bring out in the future. So the links are both down below, guys. Appreciate all of you tuning into the live stream. Use the code BEARMARKET at checkout, remember, to save yourself. I think it's 35% off maybe. And guys, I'll see you in the next live stream, which will be tomorrow.